G'day, and welcome to this Nexus Gaming Series cast for Division D East. Also, welcome last Melky here. No worries, I do enjoy casting a lot, and this one turned out pretty well. It gives me enough of a time to actually have a chat about things, get everything ready, and okay, we'll sort it out later. But we are getting into things. I do like Division D. Well, I was gonna say it gives me enough time to in between games, lets me rest my voice a little bit, get into things, and it should be good from there. However, we do have D East as saying round 1, Misfits facing LTK. We hate OBJ, which should be good. These teams did face off last season, I was told. So if we have a look here, and I open up things properly. Let me just type to someone first. Cool, nope, Nathaniel's got it, cool. I was just going to say, so, there's a little bit of subbing happening on one of the teams already. The captain's just going to be sitting out this first one. I'll be leaving it up to the rest of his team to go in, and looks like we have everything set up correctly. Wait a minute. They all quick leave game instead of start game. Also, wrong team has... What a good start. The whole team just left. Nathaniel, if you're listening, your whole team just left the lobby on accident. Oh, what is happening here? That is a awkward situation, to say the least. As I was trying to say, it is the teams matching up. They did match up last season. From what I recall, it was actually quite a close one. I think I may have cast them last season. My memory on this isn't the hottest at the best of times, let alone now, which is even an average time at best. But I did also just note that we do have things wrong way around. But right, let's have a talk about what is happening this game. Misfits had coin tosses. They are the home team and went with the... They won coin toss and went with the... Welcome, Bowser. First pick. So we did see that LTK banned out Sky Temple Volskaya, and Misfits banned out Ultrak and Towers of Doom in particular. I don't know if that is the... if they've had past history, because I'm pulling it up now. No, these teams haven't played against each other on these banned maps, but they have played against each other on the Infernal Shrines map before, which is our first map. They didn't really ask if I was ready, so let me just jump on into it, because apparently I'm not going to get asked things today. I'm going to message... If the captain's sitting in here, just give your team a head up. I would like a little bit of warning, or at least be asked if I'm ready next time. Alright, let me jump on over. So, we do have the draft. I imagine we're going to see the general bans of Infernal... Not Infernal, we're going to see... Gaslow actually banned out first. Reasonable considering the objective. I imagine we're going to see Joanna banned out next. It was not me banned... Cast from last time. So imagine Joe. Calfazard. Oh, is this that team that runs like Calfazard and Alarak? Are you that team? I don't recall. I remember there was one team that was running pretty funky things. But no, it should ultimately be fine. What do we have second ban? I have to say, these are already very targeted bans. The team's obviously doing their scouting and remembering each other well from last season. And Rhaegar banned out. Welcome, Twill, to the chat. I hope you have a good one. Also, I guess to say help in sketch, first time chatter. Welcome, welcome. And yeah, welcome, Bowser, as I said. Rhaegar banned out. Just a good all-round healer currently. Good point presence as well. Just those shrine minions make it a lot... Give him a lot of power. And yep, it is the team I thought, because Alarak is also banned. Yep, it happens. These are these are good target bans if you're not really used to playing into them. Not many people play Kel'Thuzad or Alarak, so they're both reasonable to kind of stop, so to speak, before they can get too much power behind them. But oh my god, Joanna made it through draft. Are we going to see like Joe Anduin here? I imagine Joe Anduin would be a pretty common points. There's Joe and Stukov. No, Stukov also a very good one of this objective. Everyone standing around a small area makes sense. Right, so imagine, what do we see here? Brightwing, safe pick. You could have probably waited because Stukov was already picked up, but I guess you don't want it to get banned out. I do like Brightwing for the burst heal with that phase shift, but I don't know if she quite does as well on this map, but Polymorph was always a good ability. Right, and to anyone wondering about the title, because I did put down 2 out of 125, I am actually trying to break the record of most casts in a season, which the previous record was 121 by Aero back in Season 8. So this record has been standing for about 7 seasons now. And my goal is to, well, cut it off now. Also, thank you for following the Apocalypse Shovel. But as I was about to say, Leoric has also been banned out, and we do see Leoric picked up by Hexblades, so for Misfits. And the Anubarak banned out, which, yeah, that is a pretty good ban. It's a pretty safe, I'm going to push buttons and you're going to have difficulties dealing with it. And Orphea banned out last, which is a shame. I like watching. There's a few heroes here that's banned out that I want to watch. I'd love to see these like less picked heroes. Orphea being a little bit more picked than the other two, but they're always so fun to watch when you get things that are considered off meta and not as... And I just aren't as picked as much. So if you guys could like let at least one of those through at this point, that'd be great. Obviously you don't have to, but it'd be nice to see it be played every now and again. But we do see Hogger picked up. Hogger very good on these objectives, and Malfail. So double front line. I imagine we'll see Avala to round things out for LTK. We hate OBJ. But that's a bit hard to say from here because it could also very much be other things. And hi Hector, I hope you're doing well this evening? I think it's evening for Eastern currently. I don't know if you're Eastern or Western or Pacific, I should say. I don't know what coast people are on. I assume you're West Coast, considering you did mod a West Coast team. But we see Ghoulish Daniel picked up and a main tank Blaze. Not often you see Blaze in the main tank position anymore. Very much you see Blaze in the offlane more, but we see Chromie picked up last. Oh gosh. Thank you so much for subscribing. Far out. Alaka Kaloha? Oh, let me mess up my words immediately, but no, thank you so much for subscribing. I believe you're just Koala in Discord, right? You're one of my kids this season. You're one of my B-Westers. But no, thank you so much for subscribing. We're getting into the game now. Draft has been done, so let me run the opening, and I'll see you on the other side. You're right, I am the best mod, thank you. You hear that, Hector? I am. But no, thank you, Koala, for subscribing. I didn't think it was you. I'm just a little bit daft sometimes. Anyway, we are in the game, and I do not want to have to potentially do this about 125 times this season, but we'll find out. But no, we will get into the game as on Misfits. On the side of Misfits, we have Hexblades on the Leoric, Joe the Immortal on Blaze, Lone Wolf, Kalefish, Wiregon on the right wing, and Skills 912 on the Ghoulish Daniel. On the other side, we do have Bo Diddley on the Hogger. We have Jadic on the Malfail, so double bruiser comp there. Bowser King is on that Joanna. Last Melkier on Chromie, and Vicar is just sitting there pretty on the Stukov. I never know how I feel about Chromie on this map. If you're going Falling Sands build, which this Chromie is, it can do a decent amount. But with how the objective is set up with Sands and such, it becomes how the objective is set up with those minions in the way, it becomes a lot harder for Chromie to do things. Don't get me wrong, I love Chromie. Chromie is one of the first heroes I actually mained. And actually was the hero that I was playing first when I started playing on the NA servers. But right, we are going to get that rotation coming up pretty quick. Chromie just using those falling sands to get rid of the waves, and they just have a good wave clear advantage so far, albeit Misfits can wave clear pretty well between Lone Wolf skills and Jody Immortal. They have excellent clear. I do like that Last Melky is actually staying bottom to help stack. But in terms of stacking, we do have that falling sands on the Chromie. Also, keep in mind, bottom camp is being done, but there's not really too much that LTK can do to step in presently. It's just Joanna bottom. We do also see the long pitch by Stukov. Not very often you see this one, but it is interesting to see it when it is picked. Kael'thas is actually going Fel Infusion at 1. It is, I believe, the least picked of all the talents. I believe we see both Mana Shield and Convection more. But interesting, we do see Fel Infusion as well as Chaotic Energy on Gul'dan. So Gul'dan going that suck build. We hear Phase Shift coming out onto Wygon. Was that on purpose? I should really make a note of that. I need like a digital notepad to make notes of like when I'm like, that's interesting. Is that a purposeful phase shift? I assume not. Also, welcome Maximus LTK. Let's go LTK. They say I was meant to make it. Thank you, Koala. I greatly appreciate that. Your generosity. Thank you for gifting the sub to Grotman1. And I realize I don't have alerts on this page, but that is fine because, well, I don't really want to distract too much from the cast. We do see that Kael'thas getting a decent amount of value. There's already been a decent amount of value found by Misfits, and that will be just in general. They could push a little bit easier with their 4-man. They have a lot of more push potential. But when we get onto the objectives, it's going to get a little bit scarier for LTK. A little bit scarier for Misfits, as LTK OBJ has a very good team fight. They have a very good objective presence. They have their Malfow and Hogger, who both have a lot of clear between them. They both can do very well on the shrine itself. I do like that both teams are picking up their siege camps now, as those siege camps can get a lot of value during the objective phase. Thing to note is we do see that Misfits have already started their Arcane Punisher, often considered one of the weaker ones, but still the Punishers get a lot done at the end of the day. It is something that you can't sneeze at, to say the least. Meanwhile, Jadic has been left top to deal with things, but I believe, yep, he is on a pale horse, so they aren't ever really too far away. Also, welcome Ero to the chat. It is excellent to see you here. Oh, Last Milk here in danger of that. Chromie having to back out. Jody Immortal chasing Chromie. Chromie 90 health. Actually went down to 1 health. That is very low. Oh my gosh, Chromie barely getting out of their life. Bowser King taking a lot of damage. And this is where Malfow really needed to be here a little bit ago. They have 7, sure, but they now have to muscle back in with a triple frontline comp, which they can do. Last Milk here just needs to be in a position where they can get some poke out to help soften up the team. Nice dodge onto Hexblades there, and we do see Spin coming up. That is a lot of damage coming out. Hexblade stuck in an awkward place of Hogger. Jody Immortal, however, charges in. Maybe a misclick. Hard to tell, but they go down. Objective is 37 to 39, but it will be taken by the side of LTK. We hate OBJ. And this is where their comp really does shine. LTK is in a strong position. They do have a strong point presence, as they have the beef, and they're really hard to push off once that beef is in the way. Right, that Punisher now pushing on to the thing. I have pushed the wrong button because apparently I'm bad at casting again, because I have not casted on my own channel in years. I've just not this year until last night. Oh, nice jump. Bowser King however very low, having to back out. Just taking all the shots from the tower. Rewind coming out. Jody Immortal taking a lot of damage. Bowser King on top of that. It's 300 left. And the Hogger barely gets the Q off of him, along with that Joe E. And we'll go down. And as we did see, Rewind Chromie picked up for that level 1. And oh my gosh, Chromie takes out the Gul'dan. Jump coming out. Does hit a nice double stun on top of Lone Wolf and Wygon. And if I'm LTK, you just see if you can get this front gate. Gul'dan's still not up yet. We did see Blaze up, but you've already got a lot of value. You got a whole fort from the first objective itself. You got a tower and a half plus gate of fort. Wait, keep as well. You're doing pretty well. We do see they are now getting very aggressive. They have it 10 advantage. And speaking about 10s, we'll have a quick look at those talents and see what they're going to do with it as we mouse over to this mid lane. We do see its last rights, Malthael, Rewind, Chromie, Blessed Shield, and Joanna, which they have quite good kill potential here because they do see Leoric. Leoric does get for a nice little cheeky swipe. Bowser King very low actually. It is Stukov, while known for their AoE healing, isn't known for their burst. They have definitely gone for help with vigorous reuptake. It can do a lot of extra healing when it's on. That heals on at least 3 people. But it's typically you don't see it with long pitch. You typically see it with things such as reactive ballista spores. But also, as we got Stukov, they did go those flailing swipes, and last certainly not least, we see a Hogger Shockwave. For that fight, really was a lot of buttons pushed for not a lot to happen. It was quite a... It felt like the LTK should have been able to get more there. But again, their fight really is on the objectives. That is their win condition here. While very much, it does feel like Misfits wants to take those awkward side fights, those in-lane fights more. But there is, if Leoric Snap picks... I was going to say, if Leoric just picks Entomb, that could have been 1 or 2 quick kills. There's the Entomb now. Silence coming up. Bowser King maybe one of the firing line, but no, it's Bo Diddley for one in orb position. Phoenix coming out, and that will be the first kill for the side of Misfits, taking down that Hogger. That's unfortunate timing for LTK, but it's great if you're Misfits. Good Entomb. That is why you pick like Entomb 90% of the time. Oh, Joanna decides to step on a little bit, decides maybe not. Lone Wolf is the one in danger. Last right's coming out. Comes out before the phase shift. I think it's a slightly shorter cast time phase shift. Wygon is rewound. Drop the Emerald Wind, and they will go down. Other things to note is Combustion, Blaze, Fear on the cooldown, and, as I said, Phoenix on the Kael'thas. That is something on check. Okay, so both Last Rights and Phase Shift is 2 seconds. So essentially, it's kind of like whoever draws first wins. If Malthael draws before the before the Brightwing can, they will die. However, Brightwing phase shifts just before the Malthael does, they'll live. So it very much is a who will click first. And it is very much more on Brightwing to click first than Malthael. So Malthael can play it as like, oh, I'm going to do it, bait out phase shift, and then that's still someone in danger. But if Brightwing correctly predicts it, that is a very good spot if you're Misfits. Yeah, because LTK is missing that extra damage button. We got damage buttons. We can see a lot of damage coming out onto the Kael'thas. Kael'thas first of all, we do see Combustion being dropped in the team. Nice flailing swipes by Vicar. Combustion not finding anyone there. Very smart play by Vicar and good escape from the other 2 team members. Nice stun. Hexblade's now on top. Entomb not up. That had been used already. Hogger eating his trash meat will be fine at the end. All while Jadic above the fight is just doing that objective. We already see 19 upon it. Does dodge the creepy hand from Leoric. Leoric getting relatively low. But we do see LTK getting very aggressive under those towers. If you're Jody Immortal, you suddenly go, okay, they're getting really aggressive a bunch. Maybe we save my stun or my slow for when they are diving tower, and we can turn around what is an aggressive play into a safe one for us. We do see Hogger going back and forth on that objective, 36-5. If you are LTK, you can go, okay, we can live a quick reset and we go, oh, nice 4-man Fear. Joanna position Bo Diddley as well. Last Melchior is the one in the Entomb, but they will not go down. Instead, it is Brightwing found first. I had a brief lag spike there. Sorry about that. Bo Diddley down next. Rewind coming out, and Chromie does find the kill. Bowser King relatively low. Spread that bomb to Vicar. Vicar nearly trying to kill their king once again, but will ultimately be fine. 39-40. It is more to punish the time. And there's a lot of... There's not a lot of single target for LTK. Oh no, for Misfits. Misfits will have a hard time burning... Honestly, both teams will actually have a hard time burning the objective town. Both are a bit better on the actual objective itself. Oh, stun barely finding Jody Immortal. Jody Immortal now is the one in danger. Silent Circle under them. No escape for the Blaze. And that's where sometimes Blaze does leave a little bit to be desired in that main tank role, just because they are a little bit flimsier. You don't want to be caught out here if you're those 2 team members. Bowser King following up. Do we get a shield? Yep. shield in just a few moments, but no, there's a nice quick double kill. Shield not needed. And we do see Punisher still pushing in. His 16 advantage is now through for the team of LTK. We hope OBJ. Nice escape by Hexblades. Does use that creepy ghost form to get out. But now this is still a relatively healthy Mortar Punisher. Bowser King finding purchase onto Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf getting a stun, but will go down. Punisher on Dodie Immortal, and Hexblade's also relatively low. J-Dick getting the last rights out. Does take down Hexblades. And if you're the red team here, LTK, are you like, we can end here? Question mark, exclamation mark, question mark. They're getting very aggressive for Joe, but that is technically the correct play. Nice phase shift by Brightwing. And now we can see J-Dick is the one in danger, but Bo Diddley has been a little bit abandoned by the rest of the team. Nice flailing swipes. It actually is the time to leave. They are right. Very much. Misfits did burn down the timer enough where they are able to get their respawns through and live just that little bit longer. The respawn time is just low enough to do so. You can now see that bottom camp will be in consideration for the team. Or are they just going to do this safe? It's hard to say. Nope. Bo Diddley is going to do that bot camp. Which, fair enough. It is open. I was meant to do predictions. I even said it out loud before, then I still forgot. Call me a dumbass, because I have forgotten once again. But no, we do see objective. 2 camps picked up simultaneously for LTK, we hate OBJ. And now they're looking to chase. Jody Immortal did drop that slow, but has been found by Joanna in the end. Wygon and Jody Immortal splitting, but we see the rewind coming out. Last Melkir doing a decent amount of damage. Jody Immortal does use charge to get out. And we now have a very split LTK, we hate OBJ. Jody Immortal and Brightwing up top. Meanwhile, Lone Wolf and Skills down here. And Leoric just vibing. But no, let's go back to the action. Bowser King getting slow. Nice little firebomb there by Lone Wolf. Those living bombs actually get very annoying very quick. Especially when you're a triple bruiser comp with a Stukov. It gets much harder to death ball as you want. There is the Phoenix. Jody Immortal is quite low. We do see that it is combustion going out. Bo Diddley and J-Dick getting very deep because of that fear. Nice bounce letting you out. Jody Immortal actually is for one very low, but Wygon will be topping them up. All while, I do like that Hexblades has been soaking. Hexblade soaking has made it so the talent tiers are even again. And because of a 4-man defense doing so well bottom for LTK, we hate OBJ. Oh, no. Because Misfits defended so well against LTK, we hate OBJ, they very much mitigated what was quite a good lead from LTK and managed to get back on even talent tiers while keeping structures. Nice Blessed Shield coming out from Bowser King. There's the rewind as well. Jody Immortal will be fine, but that will be the last rights, meaning Hexblades won't be fine. Very unfortunate for them. We do see Falling Sands coming out. Wygon are getting hit by the tail end of that. Skills getting what damage they can off. Jody Immortal sliding across. Phoenix coming out. And that is going to be a disengage from LTK. What do Misfits need to do here to come back is my biggest question at the moment. They need to get a good few picks. That's the first thing. But their comp doesn't really allow them... Well, I should say, their comp does struggle a little bit into the triple front line that is LTK. They have a lot of AoE damage, yes, that is true. But Leoric, Hogger, and Joe are all relatively healthy heroes. It's quite hard to say what they can do. It may be up to talents that could have been picked instead, but we'll have a look at that afterwards. Speaking of which, we do have a fight breaking out now, as Storm talents are through for the side of LTK. We have GJ. And Joanna is the one in danger. She actually had to... Oh, actually, no, never mind. J-Dick is the one in danger. Just keeps running to the left. You know, this is a very split fight, and we realize now that this is one of those instances where 17 is greater than 20. We see Joanna first to fall. Frozen Punisher picked up by the side of Misfits. And suddenly what was looking like almost a promised game for the side of LTK is a much more difficult spot. And we can see now that that was a 2-for-1. You are down 3 talents and you're winning a 2-for-1. Not 3 talents, 3 levels and you're winning a 2-for-1 is very good. Punisher has already used jumps, so there's a little bit of time until that jumps again. It will be coming up in a moment, though. Honestly, if you are playing it smart, you'd back up. Yeah. Good discipline by LTK. We hate OBJ, as they're not wanting to really go down anytime soon. And we do see that Frozen Punisher getting value, which it is a Frozen Punisher. That's unfortunate for LTK, but Misfits reveling in it at this point. They needed this. Malfael does reveal himself, gets it to jump, and we do now have the team just slowly picking on it while just trying to make sure they don't lose too much else. They do just need to burn down this objective, but as I said, neither team has great actual kill potential for the Punisher itself. They have great objective potential, both teams. Because we see two big AoE heroes, 3 big AoE heroes, then 4 good AoE heroes on the side of LTK. We have OBJ. Right, Jadic has found Jody Immortal. Jody Immortal doesn't quite hit him, but does hit the Joanna instead. And we have Malfael stuck between a rock and a hard place. And that is not where you want to be if you're Malfael. And they will go down. That is a good, quick kill for Misfits. This is something that they're needing. They're slowly building that back further and further, and they have their own storm talents now, just a little bit later than the other team. Right, let's have a look at what is happening. We do have No One Can Stop Death, Malfael. Chromie did go over those Piercing Sands. Pretty safe bet. Don't know about 16, but I do like Piercing Sands a lot. Blinded by the light on Joe. No Control Hogger and Bio Explosion Switch on the Stukov, which I don't know what it does. I don't really pick it. But on the other hand, we do have Phoenix upgrade Rebirth. That is an interesting one. If you see, you can move it. Did target Bowser King for a little bit, will be fine. And we do have Haunt up for Gul'dan. Intensive Winds, Brightwing, which, yeah, you're Brightwing with Emerald Wind. You're probably going Intensive Wind. We do see that it is a no control going. Lone Wolf does get taken out by the Joanna E as the Intensive Winds were popped, but couldn't stop the unstoppable Hogger. Other things to note, we do have Blaze going Burn Notice at level 16. I do like the pickup of Juggernaut plating, especially into such a heavy spell damaged hero such as Chromie. Last, certainly not least, is the Buried Alive on Leoric. Buried Alive does so... I love Buried Alive. I honestly think it is a pick in most situations, especially if you're going into them. You want to see that. But I do also like Drain Build. I like going for Creepy Hand at 20, which gives you 40 armor as long as you're draining someone, because it just makes you feel like a Juggernaut sometimes. And that's whether you're going Entomb or March of Black King. In all honesty, I don't think you should be going March of Black King very often, but it can work out in the right situation. All 5 members are here for LTK. We have OBJ, so this is a 4v5. Jody Immortal doing their best to take out Bowser King. You know, last rights from Wygon, just Wygon a little bit too much health. That is Brightwing going down first. Jody Immortal killed before the rewind can go off. And that is suddenly a 3v5, I guess you should say, because Misfits is on the left. But looks like we may begin end call. Nice Blessed Shield. Not a lot Lone Wolf can do there to live. Kalfist down. And this may be all she wrote for at least map number 1 of the series, as Misfits does have the enemy team on core. Hogger has just decided to hit the core instead of spinning out. You can see Bo Diddley there thinking about their life choices in the bathroom that is Hexblades. Okay, we're just going to get one more death in, don't we? Joanna felt generous, start of the end, GG called by the teams, as map number 1 did go over to LTK. We had OBJ. Right. Yeah, good first map of the series. It was quite unfortunate that Misfits didn't really have the tools to deal with... What's the word I'm looking for? They didn't really have the tools to deal with the triple frontline that was LTK with OBJ. They did have a lot of damage, yeah. You can see Gul'dan did a lot of that AoE, same as Kalfist. But missing for Centaur, I'll also double check Kalfist's ability in a few moments as well. Leoric's can be quite detrimental. Leoric probably could have picked it up, probably did, I'd have to have a look. But on the other hand, we see Chromie did an excellent amount of damage, just 93k leading the charge. Entomb, Soak, Leoric, and Jadic both did very similar siege, about 15k in between, and very similar Soak, only 2k in between. That's because the extra bit of a Soak was getting picked up by Hogger, 60k, and Joanna or something, and Chrome with it. Both teams doing pretty well on siege as well, and Brightwing, Stukov, both did excellent jobs there, keeping each other relatively close, and making a very close ending, actually. In terms of talent, it's anything that stands out. I kind of wish Kalfist went Flame Strike at 7. Just because the Flame Strike at 7 is if it hits 2 or more heroes, does percent damage. which can get a lot done. It can give you a pretty sizable damage chunk, especially onto these larger frontline teams. Also, welcome Red Horde. Hope you are doing well this evening. Also, chat, yell at me when we're doing the next... when I roll the next intro screen, so like at the end of the next draft, just to remind me, go, let us do the betting. What's it called? Predictions. Yeah, that's probably the term for it. But as we can see, was a good run for both teams. Anything else that stands out to me? Not in particular, especially because I can't comment on... Oh, wait, no, yes. Interesting feathered touch. It's not often you see feathered touch and for long pitch. Typically you see the E build being more popular, but hey, it worked out for Vickers. So who am I to judge? They obviously did very well and piloted that build comfortably. So what I'm going to do is I am going to change over to my map view screen. So I wonder what we're going to get here. I do wonder if we see... What's the words I'm looking for? If we see Misfits potentially go map pick and go to something more comfortable, or they choose first pick again, but choose a slightly different kind of hero rotation, or at least even a two-lane map. Two-lane maps can be much harder to do anything. Sorry, I've got hiccups. Two-lane maps may be a lot harder to deal for... What am I saying, chat? Two-lane maps are much harder for triple frontline comps to deal with. If you grab something like a Thrall or a Imperious, it's like making a stabbing motion in my arms. Like, yeah, that's what he is. Imperious, that would be cool. That's actually a really good idea if you do that. But it's a bit hard to say until we see it being picked up. Right, let me just have a look. And I'll just message the captains. It doesn't look like we have a lobby yet. What map would people like to see? I want to see Braxis. I really enjoy Braxis, but I may be biased because I am a offlane player at the end of the day in terms of NGS. I have played 3 seasons of NGS. Braxis has always been my favorite map. I do, not to toot my own horn, but I do average at best at it. Average at worst as well. I'm just relatively average in general at least playing the game, but talking, I'm a little bit better at least when there's something going on. But I think we're just going to have it. I think there's a good discussion currently from Misfits going, oh, what should we do? Which, fair enough. I would also be like, what am I going to do here today? What is the ideal situation if you are Misfits? I guess I can have a look. They did win on Dragonshire last time. So I wonder if they pick Dragonshire and go, you know what? It worked for us before. What if we do it again? Which I don't hate that if they do go Dragonshire. That is probably the kind of what I'd want to do if I'm then. I feel like more and more I've been seeing that. Oh, it is Braxis. You know, I said I wanted to see Braxis. I hope someone was listening to me. They've made my day. They're on the wrong side, but they've made my day. Right, let me just make a reminder. Nope. Never mind, they are being moved around. Things are being done properly. So it looks like we've had things correct. There's Braxis. Who picked map? And I'll find out who picked map in a few moments when I backspace everything. And then get rid of the caps lock over all the items. Right, I would like to see a free map series. I want to go this way. I do like it when things do go to the third map. It does make things more exciting for me as a caster. I'm sure it makes people more excited as the viewer. Which, yeah, fair enough. Everyone likes to see a good bit of fighting. But we do have Braxis. It was picked by Misfits as I thought they would go map pick. And this, again, is a map that is quite a bit harder to do a triple frontline comp on. Imagine, oh my god, imagine if we saw Artanis. Any Artanis enjoyers in chat? Because I am. I am not good at Artanis. I will make that very clear. Artanis, not my bag. But he is fun. He is so fun. I'm just more like I'll play Rexar on this map and like sit in my lane, get a kill maybe, die maybe, lose Misha likely. But in the end, it's not the worst if you lose Misha. But I don't know if any of these people are Rexar players. I can find out. I have the tools to look into this and actually see what the teams like to play. It's like there's stats or something, chat. It is like there is stats or something with a little handy dandy button that leads me to hero's profile for each team. I'm just going to say caster ready. So they know I am ready indeed. But looks like we don't actually have any subs. It is still Nate Faniel on the bench for this one. So they are just going to be taking their time to come back in. As well as... Wow, this broke. Well, never mind, I'm not looking at that. So we are just going to be waiting on Misfits just to say they're ready. But I am very excited to see how they have their Braxis planned out, because Braxis is a fun one. I wish more people chose Braxis. My previous team of 30 Seconds to Mosh, our captain very much said, no Braxis, I hate Braxis. But I'm like, maybe a little Braxis for me? No Braxis for me. I think I played it once last season, once the season before, but I've also had limited like availability. It's all been a wild ride all the way. But like, it looks like we may be getting into things shortly. Fingers crossed, chat. Right. Let me close this. Anything anyone's wishing to see in this map, I'd be very... Like, anything to watch out for, you think, chat? Maybe a hammer? Maybe Sylvanas. Sylvanas I do like in this map. Tassadar is a fun one. Maybe they let Alarak or... No, they won't let Alarak or Kel'Thuzad through. They can do a lot on... They can do a lot. Essentially, on the objective. The objective itself leads to a lot to team fighting. Once the objective is spawned, that Zerg wave doesn't let you teamfight as much, especially if you want to pull off sick combos, as things do get in the way. But it looks like we're getting the countdown now, so I'll switch over to the draft screen in a few moments. I hope this goes well. It was actually pretty close last game at the end of it all. Misfits were mounting a comeback at the end. But I guess we have to see how this one goes, as it may be a different story. Right, as Misfits chose map for round number 2, we do see first pick going into LTK, We Hate OBJ. And actually, more and more, I'm liking the map pick by teams, because map pick seems to do pretty well in a lot of situations. Because you see LTK chose map last, won it. Let's see if Misfits chose map and win it this time. Thank you, Fiction, for pointing that out. I kind of turn viewers off during it so I don't get too distracted by numbers. But we do see Kel'Thuzad banned. We do see Gazlo banned. I'm not as sure about the Gazlo ban on this map, just because Gazlo does have that kind of more combo-y playstyle when it comes to Gravibomb. In saying that, if they do go... What is it I'm looking for? If they do go Robo-Goblin, that's still a pretty hard thing to deal with, but I do like the ban of Stukov. Stukov is a problem in a lot of situations. That silent circle can do a lot, and it'll make it much harder for them to get things done. So what, did this ever load properly? Do I ever get to look at Misfits properly? No, I can just see LTK. Fun. And Vicar picks up Brightwing to start, so taking it from... Oh, which one of you was it last time? Wiregon. Yep, so Wiregon is not able to pick that Brightwing this time. I would like to see maybe a Rhaegar picked up here. Hogger picked up by Hexblade, so now we're getting a little bit of denying on the other way. So Bo Diddley doesn't get to pick for Hogger. And do we get Tank? No, Anduin. Jody Immortal picking Anduin. I do like Anduin in a lot of situations. He is a pretty safe hero. Like, there's not too much I can say. He's white bread. He's inoffensive. Maybe some butter. Inoffensive, but doesn't taste too poorly. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have the next two picks. What is it going to be? We do see a Nubrak picked up, as well as the Leoric. I like Leoric into Hogger, actually. Leoric can get a decent amount done in a lot of situations, and with that drain on Hogger, Hogger doesn't have to either A, use his spin to get away from Leoric, which is a waste of a cooldown and his main wave clear ability, or he needs to just go in on Leoric and try and see if they can dodge it. We see the Kael'thas banned out, which I do like Kael'thas being banned out of this map. It can do a lot. And Zagara rounding out the bans. Interesting on Braxis, but I guess if you wanted to go do something tricky and Zagara for top lane instead of Hogger, that would make Leoric's life so much more difficult. Also, sorry about the mute there. I was just having a quick drink, and I don't think people wanted necessarily ASMR of me drinking water. I certainly don't. Yeah, I'm not the biggest ASMR fan the more I think about it. Yeah, it's a not fun one. But we see Zul'jin and Mephisto picked up. So we're a little bit lighter in terms of lane clear for Misfits, but their objective fight will get very punishing very quickly. That is provided Zul'jin and Mephisto don't die. Which Raynor, pretty good at making people die. Similarly, Chromie, once again, has decent wave clear and can burst you if you do make a stick. And Mephisto into Chromie has a fun interaction. If Mephisto is shading aggressively, Chromie can just rewind that Mephisto. And Mephisto, instead of being in his shade, will instead be back where the Chromie's rewind is after they go back to their shade. Provided Chromie times it correctly, but it does work out. And we see Varian following up last, so we're likely going to just see that taunt, root, kill. That is their general combo. It's not always going to be easy, but it is definitely something that even a Nubrak needs to look out for. A Nubrak essentially needs their spell armor, they need their E up, and they need to very much be ready to stop that blow up. So the main target, I guess, for them is actually Zul'jin and Mephisto. But right, we have gotten through the draft, we're getting into the game, so I'm going to run the opening reel, and I'll be on the other side. Chat, you're meant to tell me to start a prediction. There's a prediction started, 2 minutes to bet. Have fun if you do like betting channel points. So, on the left-hand side of Misfits, we do have Wygon on the Zul'jin skills. On the Mephisto, Hexblades on the Hogger. Lone Wolf is on that Varian, who's not a real boy till 4, just mind you. And Jody Immortal is on Anduin. I just looked at Anduin, cannot recognize him. Meanwhile, on the other side, we just have Bo Diddley on the Leoric. Bowser King is on the Anubrak, Last Melchior, Chromie, Jadic on the Pew Pew Man Raynor, and rounding it out, once again, Last Melchior is on that Chromie. But right, let's have a look at how things go, shall we? As damage is coming out. But this is very much a safer map, so to speak. It's not really, we're not going to see too much happen for a while, especially in the early game. We do see Jadic being forced out by Mephisto. Not Lone Wolf. Skills 912, actually getting a decent amount of damage out already. Let's have a look at the top. I do like watching the top here. Bo Diddley is clearing a little bit faster, but Leoric is pretty good at that. But let's have a look down bottom, because we are in a weird position. Wygon getting low. Zul'jin, the one wanting to stack, is the one having to run away. Someone has made a bet. Nice, nice, nice. And we do see that Lone Wolf is going to be hitting Bowser King. Which, that slow alone is still doing pretty well. Phase shift coming up on Bowser King. Brightwing getting that off now. Hopefully, Brightwing is indeed... They are greater polymorph, actually. Interesting. So we're going into that little bit more skill-shoddy kind of build from Vicar, which I don't mind it. I do actually quite like the polymorph build, but you're fighting near a wave a lot of the time. You can get your phase shift back quite frequently, and that may come back to bite them. As we can already see, Bowser King's really low, does have to borrow out. Time shift coming out. Vicar is stuck in the middle of nowhere, and that will be them going down to the end and a win, finishing off that kill. Objectives are up. Bottom is capped by Misfits. Top is capped by Bo Diddley, I guess I should say. LTK is probably a better way to put it. And Vera's Hog is spinning already. If Leoric puts out the creepy hand now, they are going to be in a little bit of spot above it, as Bo Diddley is healing just a little bit faster than Hexblades is able to damage him. Now Jadic is here as well. Hexblades doesn't have an escape. Brightwing coming out, does get polymorph off. They are slowed a little bit, but it isn't V4 where Brightwing slows more. So they are going to get out. I do like that camps are getting picked up. Very good camp discipline on this map. It's one of the maps that actually teams struggle with camps a little bit more. Camps are almost an afterthought on this map, which is interesting enough. And we do see that Chromie has finished off W build, and now we see the slow on W from Brightwing, so that can do a lot. In terms of stacking talents, we can have a look about that as I just look at this camp here. We do see Hogger loving the quest. We do see Gentleman's cooking and brute force. We do see Varian going taunt and going that. Lion's more at level 1. Anduin is at piercing light. We see Mephisto is going skull build with unyielding power, and Zul'jin has his axe build at level 1. Oh, at baseline, I should say. Other things to note, we do see Chromie has already finished her W quest, as I've already mentioned. Bowser King taking a lot of damage. We do see spell armor foils off, and that's when finally Lone Wolf gets the taunt out, which is good. Actually, really good patience from Bavarian, waiting for Bowser King to use his defensive before finally taunting after it ran out, just because that's when all the damage can come through. Nice root by Andon. We can see damage coming out. Skills getting a good reset there. And just very much back and forth. We're playing a little bit of Tango here. Speaking about Tango, up top, Hogger is getting the objective. Bo Diddley giving him a little bit too much help. Too much distance, but we'll be able to turn it over soon. Meanwhile, Wygon, very low bottom, but Bowser King also took a lot of damage in that engagement. And this really is a hard one for... This really is a hard one for Anubarak. Anubarak is great in the sense that if you are the one engaging, you do a lot of damage. However, if you aren't the one engaging, if you're getting engaged upon with like a lockdown, a good solid lockdown, Anubarak becomes very squishy. Doesn't quite find Jody immortal, but Chromie nearly did. The Beatles are still hitting that Anduin, but now Brightwing is for one in danger. Backs out a little bit, and we see that ultimately they will live. All the while, objective is creeping more and more up towards Misfits' favor, but that is actually Zul'jin down, and this is actually going to be the first time that LTK, we hate OBJ, has the time to step on the objective and to actually take a few points. Take a little bit of percentage. I don't think Anubarak should leave now. I think they should do their best to hold it. Jody Immortal mounted does escape. Meanwhile, we do see Leoric is in danger top, stalls out as long as possible with that Wraith Walk, and ultimately will be fine. I do like that this Bruiser camp's being picked up now, but I also very much like more the LTK we have OBJ is pushing that bot lane. They are getting gate, and they can even get damage on tower, because they're going to know this is where the team is. This is where Misfits is. They have been missing off map. They're going to be doing a camp. There's no two ways about it. Also, Bo Diddley is about to be damaged once again. Lone Wolf and Hexblade doing the best. Teleports out with less than 90 health, and they're going to live. Nice. Bowser King is in danger. Nice push by Jadic. And Bowser King gets to live on that with just 20 health. Really not much in it. Not quite as close as the Chromie's 1, but still a lot of danger either way. And we can see now they are going to be halving home. And that is likely going to be an objective being converted to Misfits. For LTK, we have OBJ knowing they need to step in. Lone Wolf, however, is something you do not want to step into. Taunt coming out. We've done it a little bit awkwardly. If that taunt was just a little bit sooner, that would be a kill onto Jadic, just because Mephisto did burn down a decent amount of his Lightning Nova before that actually happened. So Vicar is helping out top now. They won't have Fascia for a little bit longer, so that burst healing is missing for bottom. Meanwhile, we do see Leoric coming back down. Browning doing what we can to heal, and the re-engagement will happen bottom. Nice Hourglass by Chromie. Jody Immortal taking a lot of damage to start. Brightwing getting top back, so there's actually a decent split between the two. This is doing a lot for the team. And now, this is where you need to step on Bo Diddley. You can't actually let them have that. So it will be objective going over in just a few moments to the side of Misfits. And we can see Vicar is actually for one getting low here. 189 health, but nope. The Zul'jin will find that W in the end. Will find the attack, will find the Q. And welcome Zioff. I think you're, or Z-Tenif. I don't know what your name actually is, sorry, but welcome to the chat. Let's go Misfits tear apart LTK, he says, which good to see we have supporters for both sides here tonight. But they know they need to give that top front objective. They just go, you know what, back up. Chromie's still scaling. Once she gets those 18s, she is going to be a monster at tearing these apart. But there's just a little bit too much for us to deal with now. Jadex steps up, does hit the Q. If they didn't, Lone Wolf was looking for that charge taunt combo, and that may have been Jadex's life gone there. But we're already at gate. Looks like the first tower is going down right. Well, actually, I say right about now, but not quite. But nice last rites there. Not often we see last rites in... No, not last rites. Consume souls from the... I can't remember his name. Oh, that's not the entomb you want. Drop the entomb, Bo Diddley. Drop the entomb. There we go. Sloth. It is just Sloth. Cool, 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 cool. Thank you. I don't know. I just... That is a Z, so that's what probably threw me off a little bit. And we do see them getting aggressive for the bottom globe, and will take it themselves in the end. Other heroics to talk about, as we mentioned, Varian at level 4 is taunt and just picked up Warbringer at 10, just because I like at least talking about the 10 for it. We'll see Hortapot Hogger, so does have that escape. So let's go up here for now. Nope, we're going back down here. Nice stun by Bowser King onto the team. Anduin Light Bomb, by the way. We do see Wygon actually taking a decent amount. A assist ping coming, but nothing coming to assist. And the thing I haven't mentioned yet for Misfits is that Taz Dingo for Zul'jin. On the other side, we do see the teams actually rotating up for Bo Diddley, who is Entomb, as we've seen before. Nice unstop. Going to get out before you take too much damage. Excellent. We'd also see the Hyperion, Raynor, Web Wrap, and Nubarak, which I do like Cocoon, especially into Mephisto, for very similar reasons as to the the Chromie Rewind, which we do see Chromie Dindigo Rewind. I think the last thing to note is also that, oh my gosh, never mind, we're going to talk about it a little bit later. There's the big fight coming out. Phase Shift coming out, doesn't quite find Bowser King in time. Lone Wolf very low, but with the mash of people running at each other and just the bodies getting hit more and more, I'm surprised no one else died there. And Blink kills, I was going to say, for Brightwing. But no, we do see that the team of Misfits are actually in a pretty controlling state compared to last game. They've found their footing a lot easier this time, and we're finding that they're a lot harder to deal with at this point in time, which is exactly what you want. Alright, I just need to check something really quick. Sorry about tabbing out of the game. I am going to look back down here, scroll on down, as we do see camps being picked up by Misfits, as well as LTK. We hear OBJ looking potentially at invading on a Hogger. Then my mouse spell here steps up a little bit too far. Hexblade is being warned. Nice polymorph. Nice pull by Anduin. That trust issues button does so much in so many situations. But we do see now the team is without some major cooldowns, so are deciding to back out. Lone Wolf getting a nice little charge onto Bowser King. Bowser King honestly going to be fine. He's like, you know what? You can charge me if you like. We are going to be okay. And nice Hyperion. You've evened out the structures, you have bottom pads, so you're not too fussed about going any further. Meanwhile, Hogger is going to be pushing top of that Bruiser camp. They do have a top objective. They are going to be in danger very shortly. How shortly is the question. Meanwhile, we're going back down here, and Nubarak gets a nice stun. We see Lone Wolf taking a decent amount of start. Webrap coming out on Anduin. Rewind coming out onto a Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf isn't protect, so they will go down to the spell damage. That is last Melchior. And that is not what you want to see if you are Misfits. Albeit, Leoric, you need to step on objective. I know there is a wave you need to clear, but this is the time to get objective. This side of Misfits is down their front line. You have the advantage. I know there's a wave. Go to the objective. Go to the objective. Go to the objective. Go to the objective. We do see Anduin going down because I'm trying to coax someone going into the objective. And this, what was looking very good for Misfits, is starting to turn around. And LTK, we have OBJ. Is a much better spot. Skills gets taken down by that last falling stand. We do see Bowser King getting aggressive onto Wiregon. Lone Wolf, however, is there in time to taunt Bowser King to stop him hurting his king of Wiregon. In all honesty, are we going to do a boss call? No, we see Phase Shift coming out top. Bo Diddley is in a nice little situation now with Vicar to help him. We hear the polymorph sound effect go off, but it was a little bit too late. I like the Entomb, but there is the Hortipult traded out for it, and Entomb is back a little bit sooner than Hortipult, so it is nothing lost there. Consume Souls coming out, so they get vision of what everyone is doing. So they know 2 are top, 3 are bottom, and it looks like they're just going to rotate top and take it as well. That is something a little bit easier to bully the rest of the team out of. What is happening in my chat, and who is bothering me this time? Nope, never mind. Right, I do like that Bo Diddley is doing that camp while we wait. Meanwhile, we do have a nice 3-man push bottom, and Brightwing is just vibing. Varian does not want her to vibe, however. Nice polymorph by Brightwing. Bo Diddley will be back shortly. And Lone Wolf has realized they are indeed alone now, but there isn't too much else running at them. We do just see it's Vicar and Bo Diddley. Meanwhile, bottom, there is going to be a good fight. Nice web wrap, however, it doesn't really stop Anduin Light Bomb from going off. That is still available. And that's the same, like, if you've gorged someone, you can get Light Bombed if you gorge a Light Bomb target. You can get hit by Twisting Never if you do Cho'Gao. And not necessarily a Cocoon will save you either. Bo Diddley is in one danger. We do see the spell armor pop by Vicar. But there is a sizable Zerg now coming through for LTK. We have OBJ. I don't think both Chromie and Raynor going top is the play. I think you honestly just send Raynor because it's just one minion. I don't like that you're sending everyone up. I think you could honestly, if you had everyone here. Ah, Nubrek's down. Never mind. In Bo Diddley, we trust. You know, I'm starting to trust it, Sketch. I'll be honest. I'm looking at it. I'm going nodding my head like, yeah. No, I can see it. But no, we do see that Zerg wave is destroyed pretty quickly. But now you're all top. Push. Honestly, push in. Let Bo Diddley tank it. Push. And push face shell. You have a little bit more time. Hogger is getting here now. We do see that it is going to be that Genuine's cooking, staying a little bit more and taking out. Also note that Leoric did go that percent damage build. They went full auto attack build. Nice epicenter on Nubarak. I do like their build as well. The thing that's still standing out most to me is the poly build on Brightwing. There is the Consume Souls. Honestly, the team's going to be fine though. Skills is using that at an interesting time. It is really much using it as a finisher. It's more a finisher in a fight. It can very much soften the team up for you, makes them a little bit more scared. But Brightwing just has passive healing. She doesn't really need to do anything special. Let's say they can just kind of exist. And things will be fine. Now we can see that top camp being done. Slowly being taken down now. We can see now boss is being checked by Hogger. Hexblade's like, cool, they're not there, we're fine. Pushing top, however, Misfits is looking to balance out the structures once again. And I do like the call from LTK, we hate OBJ. OBGA? GA? Really? That's what we're going with, GA. LTK, we hate OBJ to push bottom. And we can see a full half by the team of Misfits. Meanwhile, bottom, we do see that Hyperion is dropped. The damage is coming out. Jadic is going to get hit by it. But that is a Nubrak stuck between a rock and a hard place. And we do see even Burrow out 154 health. And that is actually what could have been bad for the side of LTK as their Nubrak got very low. Ultimately turned out fine as the Nubrak was able to burrow out to safety. Lone Wolf getting a nice Q off. Actually didn't hit either Melkier or Jadic. I thought that was going to hit. It must have barely glanced past. They are going top to deal with cap. No, they are going to do boss. This may... Oh my gosh, they're actually ripping boss fast. I don't think LTK will realize in time of what's happening. No, they didn't. Boss is taken, torn apart. Bowser King is the one in danger. Does get hit by the net follow-up. They are taking a lot of damage. They do burrow out. And this is what I would like to see from the Consume Souls. But it still didn't find anyone. The team playing very well. On the side of LTK, we have OBJ. Hexblade seeing if they can get any more stacks of that Genuine's cooking. Top is held by LTK, but that will not be for long as Hexblade does spin onto it for some reason. Chromie, looking to see where the team is, has found them, so they know what they can do. Meanwhile, that objective is now on gate and will be doing damage, but you can't take forever if you are LTK. You have an objective up, you need to deal with things. And we have found each other. Once again, Bowser King in danger, does get rooted, does get taunted, they will go down. Hogger has gone to the back line. Bo Diddley is the one in danger now, sucking Joe the Immortal, but we'll be fine. Last Melchior being charged by Lone Wolf. Meanwhile, there is a 2v1 going on top as Hexblades is going to be fine. However, Chromie barely holds on, while Bo Diddley is not. They will go down in the end. I pushed wrong button. My button pushing. And this is now a very strong spot for Misfits, as we do have a full power Zerg pushing bottom plus camp, and there's split pushing top. This is going to be a hard defense for LTK. We have OBJ. If they are able to defend it and get a kill or two off of it, it could be very good. A lone Zerg creep at Kelp itself can do a lot. Charge coming up from Lone Wolf on top of Jadic. Jadic will be escaping a little bit, barely. They are going to be saved at the end, but we do see that web wrap comes out onto Skills. Skills being then rewound. And that's one kill there. Nice hit onto Vivarian, but Skills gets to live. Wygon, Jody Immortal is in danger now. Bo Diddley keeping them in that entomb, but that's 2 kills now. There is Vitaz Dingo coming out. Pull from Anduin. Meanwhile, Skills in a bush using that that heroic, I should say. But no, it is the side of LTK needing to back up. They need to play it safe. They don't necessarily want to go down yet. Now that is a good defense if you are LTK. It was quite a hard defense saying it that. There was a lot of pressure on them from both sides, and they handled it excellently. Those two kills, 3 kills actually, couldn't come at a better time. If that hadn't happened then, it may not have happened at all, and this map would be over. Meanwhile, I want to see them invade. They're just taking a little bit too long to make a decision. LTK has the chance to invade. It's slowly burning down. Hogger and Varian are back. Warning call is out. And we see the rest of the team decide to play it safe. So what is going to happen is a question. We've just kind of prepped wave a little. But all 5 members are back. 20s are through first for LTK. That is a thing to note because we do see Rewind on the Anubrak. We do see that Raiders roll on the Raynor. I was like, I really should know that one. Also, that Silence and Tomb once again. Chromie went Piercing Sands. And Fairy protects us from Brightwing. I do like seeing it. It's not often you do see it, but I do like seeing it. That AoE spell shield can do a lot. Pushing up now, we do see that is the Hyperion dropped, I should say. And that's out of a decent spot. You do have that bottom lane even. I believe you have your own Zerg pushing through bottom next wave as well. So this is going to be down to the wire. Leoric did back to deal with camp. Smart, you do need to do that. Last Melchior did back up as well. And if the side of LTK don't finish this camp very soon, they may have a team upon them. Nope. It looks like that we're just going to get that save 5-man, stick together, get 20s. As you do see, Consume Souls upgrade, I don't know what it's called. Consumed by Hatred picked up. Taz Dingo upgrade picked up, which is available. Anduin went Censure. We also have Glory to the Alliance and no Control Hogger. I don't think you want to do that, Red. Hexblades has been found. Bowser King getting 1 stun off. We do see them going a little bit too far. That's the silence pull. There is the pull from Ando. Meanwhile, Root coming out to Bowser King. Bowser King then getting hit with a stun. That's a little bit anti-synergy there, as Varian will not be rewound. Still in danger. Meanwhile, core for the red team is in danger, as the announcer lady did say. Brightwing hit out of danger. Vicky relatively low. But that kill coming in at an awkward time. That is someone you don't want to lose now. But we can see that's 2 members down. That's 3 members down. And Chromie and Jadic may be rough to defend things, especially when there's a boss being done. Objectives up soon. Thank you for following, Snarf. I hope you're doing well today. And this objective will be taken in just, or not objective, boss will be taken in just a few moments, and they do indeed get it. Can Raynor and Chromie defend against an Archangel in a full 5-man push? Probably not. But I also think that Misfits could probably have just ended. I think they should have just ran at core and taken things. But even then, there's still going to be a very hard spot for LTK to come back from. Misfits are in a commanding presence. They've taken out half the core of LTK. We have OBJ already. Chromie does play a little bit of a cheeky move, does channel it. Was harping on the objective, so they will get out. Also, thank you for following Rodney as well. We do see defense coming out of the the Archangel. The boss going down actually pretty quickly. But there still is a full Zerg wave bearing it down on them in a few moments. Which will be a little bit harder to defend solo. Not solo, but a little bit harder to defend with your team comp. Chromie can get a decent amount done with it. Also, speaking of which, we see a lot of damage coming out here. Bo Diddley goes down at a very inopportune time. And that may be curtains for LTK for at least this part of the series. We'll have to see, as we do have that bottom wave being taken down. And the team of LTK backing up a lot. Right, that is the Hyperion dropped quite early, actually, trying to defend. Last Melchior gets taunted. We do see the Cocoon come out. Meanwhile, there's 4K to stop. We see Hogger coming in behind. That is Rewind on Skills. Skills taking a little bit of damage, but Last Melchior was a little bit off with their Rewind. Does get out to safety, however. We see that it is that Consumed Souls coming out. That is 2 deaths again. Leoric's nearly back, sure, but we do now have that whole Zerg wave on core. Just a little bit lagged behind, but Jadic is low. Will go down. Vicar being held onto by Hexblades. But that'll be the second map of the series, going over to Misfits. So we are going to get a free map series. GG called by both sides. Well played. Oh, I've changed scene and now I can hear things clicking through. But yes, thank you for following both Rodney and Snuff. Looking at talents, Last Melchior is proving to be pretty effective on this Chromie. That W build is doing a lot for them. But Mephisto and Zul'jin did a lot as well. Though not much to sneeze at, especially into the coming of that late game. The blob provided by Varian with him was just a little bit too much for LTK to deal with. Brightwing can do very well in a lot of situations, but into a single target, I'm going to kill you in less than 2 seconds, that's a little bit harder. They did try, but that is a little bit harder. And that we do have pretty even siege by Chromie and Zul'jin, actually. In terms of healing, Anduin did a little bit better. Those pulls saving people from the entombs quite a few times, as well as in terms of soak, we do have Leoric out soaking Hogger. In terms of stats, or talents I should say, someone can tell me Hogger better than I can, because I have no clue how Hogger works. He's not my good hero. In fact, I'm pretty average at him at best. But we can see, I do like the skull build Mephisto. Interesting to see consume souls, especially in these sorts of close fights, such as that. Other things to note here, what do we have? Right. Jadic's build makes sense. I would have maybe liked to see something that wasn't Exterminator, but Exterminator does help with clearing the objective, but you have Chromie for that, so it's a bit like what if situation's quite hard to tell, but ultimately it is fine. I do like Leoric's build. I do kind of miss the good old Ghost build. You move around, Ghost form, give a good old slap, have Ghost form back, damage reduce, slap, damage reduce, slap, damage reduce, slap, rinse, and repeat. What I'm going to do is I'm briefly going to put myself on a break. I'm just going to run some ads, just because I need some water. I need to get some water. So I'm going to run a little bit ad break, but I'll be back in a few moments. Don't go anywhere. sometimes it is known that I have good timing. So I've returned within a minute, and I've got my water bottle full, so I can help save my own voice. I don't actually know what map we are in yet. I haven't seen anything. Let me have a quick look and see if anyone is in a custom. No, they are not. So if we're waiting a little bit longer, I will update the score. And look, it is holding true. Whoever chooses map pick wins. I'm not very surprised by this, in all honesty. It is definitely a common theme in this, at least of the lower leagues. It's actually a pretty common thing. It is a lot of... What's the word I'm looking for? Playing on a map you're comfortable on is almost more important than playing on the heroes you want the most. Let me just whisper someone. Right, I'm just going to whisper them. Oh, there it is. Cool. And it looks like we are going to Cursed Hollow to round it out, which LTK We Hate OBJ did a lot better when they were on that bigger map. When they had that double bruiser team, they did very well. But it looks like we have that actually Cursed Hollow picked by Misfits. I don't know about this. I think Misfits were doing a lot better on those two-lane maps. That two-lane map looked much better for them, I should say. So now taking it to a big map after you're showing you're very good on the small map and that LTK is good on a big map, that may be a blunder, but it is quite hard to tell. We do have people slowly rolling in, so we do have that happening. But either way, this should be a fun one to watch. I do like... Oh, I forgot to choose a prediction outcome. Oh, I'm sorry for one person who voted, because that's a complete prediction. Misfits won that last one. And I will start another prediction after this as well for anyone who is watching and wants to just enjoy betting points or losing points, depending on your opinion of points. LTK pick... Okay, sorry. I did not see that at first, because it looks like at first that they had the wrong team picked for first pick, but that is okay. Thank you for telling me. I think you said you're a Bowser King, right, Vettel? But we do have people slowly rolling in now, and we'll just have to see how that goes. It'll be interesting to see if Nate Faniel does come on in. The captain of Misfits is out this evening by the looks of things. So I think we're just having also a chat about that today. We're just waiting on two more people, both literally in, and it's just one more for LTK, who I can see now is in. I'm just going to say cast already so the teams know. And hopefully we'll be getting into it before not too long. Cool, yep, I do remember things sometimes. I am notoriously bad at remembering things, but every now and again I do. Well, also sorry if you do hear construction in the background. There's renovations and such going on next door, and there's not much I can do about that. There's really, honestly, not much I can do about that at all. I just need to message someone. Will do. There we go. Sorry, I just have a surprise co-caster coming in for the series after this, which I will be taking a little break in between just so I can rest my throat, rest my voice, prepare for the next one, etc., and just drop into my team just to have a little listen to see how they're going with their practice tonight. I'm just a sub, so I am not there. As much as I do love my team, I do also have a goal with casting this season. I am trying to break a record that has been standing since Season 8. That's right, Season 8. This record has been... We've made in Cursed Hollow, so I'll swap the... I'll swap along, then I'll go on what I'm saying. I've changed the wrong scene. I want this one. What? Easy fix. But yeah, there has been a record since season 8, where Aero had the most casts of 121 in a season. That is what the little number on my title is there. 2 out of 125. I am trying to beat that 7 season record and take it for myself. Do I know if it's a good idea? No. Am I going to try it anyway? Yeah. Why not, eh? Let's challenge myself. So it's always fun to watch. But we do have bands coming through. Very similar bands as the last map. We do see Calfazard, Gazlo. We're probably going to see Alarak here. We saw the Stukov. And yep, there is Alarak. So, LTK. You could at least have him last one. You could have made it interesting. You could have just shown what they could do. And who knows, it may have been a while since they played it. They may be rustier with it, because it keeps getting banned out. But I suppose not. They probably do practice it, the intention of it. Maybe someone lets it get through, but you never know unless you try. We do see Hogger picked up first for Misfits once again. Hogger did very well both maps this series. When LTK had it, LTK won. When Misfits had it, Misfits won. Will the Hogger buff hold true? Will that team win the series? Right, let me have a look because people are yelling at me in a chat somewhere. I do need to keep some eyes on things just because of what I do as a mod. But I do like Felstar picked up. Also, thank you, Era Macro, for subscribing. Greatly appreciate it. But what do we have picked up next? I would like to see Misfits do their own triple frontline, but it looks like they're just going to go with that blow up combo once again. Yep. So Wygon did pick up that net last time on Zul'jin, so we're very much going to see taunt, net, blow up. I imagine we're going to see a Zagara ban actually here. Zagara, maybe something that LTK doesn't want to deal with, just to make sure they don't get that unnecessary amount of macro pressure on them. Which I would honestly love to see it. I'd love to see Zagara this map, but I don't think we're going to be given that pleasure. Instead, no, it is the Rhaegar band out. Maybe Wygon was the Zagara in question, but I have a feeling it's Skills for some reason. I don't know why, because I think Skills is the... Thank you, Bartleby, for subscribing as well. As I was saying, I think it is the Skills who is the player who plays both Alarak and Calfazard. So that'll be interesting. But we do see last Melchior finally moving off for Chromie. We do see a Hanzo being picked up. And imagine we're going to see Muradin. Not quite what I was going to say, but it is definitely something interesting. Let me just check something real quick. Cool. Sorry if I keep getting distracted, guys. Just people message me about Div B as I'm their mod, and I just need to check these things as they happen, but it looks like I'm good. Right, last two picks. Mephisto once again and Decade to round it out. This may not work as well. Yes, it did work very well last time. I'll give him that. It worked very well last map. This map, you don't have to fight as much. And in fact, I'd like to see LTK, we had OBJ, kind of... I do like the Haka. As I say, I'd like to see LTK move into a more macro style comp, and I do like the Haka. That is double global, so you could very much have your comp anywhere you want them to be. And I think that there may be a little bit more of a struggle for Misfits to deal with this than the last map. I guess we'll have to see, as we do have that countdown going off. We are getting into the match now, so what I'll do is I will roll the opening, and I'll see you on the other side of things. I do really need to count how many of those clips in that opening is just Blaze charging into people. But no, that's not what we're here for today. We're here for the final map of LTK. We had OBJ facing off against Misfits. So starting off with LTK this time around, we can see that Bo Diddley is on the Dahaka, Last Melchior, Hanzo, Bowser King on the Muradin, Jadic on the Felstar, Bowser King going wall and Vicar on the Anduin. Yes, 2 globals, Dick Bailey. That is correct. There's going to be a lot for Misfits to deal with. But on Misfits, we do have Lone Wolf, Varian, Wygon, Zul'jin, Skills, Mephisto, Hexblade, Hogger, and Jody Immortal on the Decade. So a very similar composition as the last time. The only difference is the Decade. The only reason that difference was picked up is because Vicar did pick up the Anduin. So very much it is Misfits are wanting to run that blow up, and they're getting denied it by both Anduin being picked up, as well as Stukov being banned out. 2 of those classic, these are going to be ones that make you struggle into it. But we can see now that both the Dahaka and Falstad are splitting off. Lone Wolf making sure to take the long way around there. I'm also going to open up talents and we can have a look at that while we're here. Interesting, we see the Mage Falstad build, especially if you're going to have a slower time stacking if you're in an off lane. Not quite something you want to see if you're them, but we do also have the Hanzo going W build. Dahaka going that race car, enhanced agility. On the other hand, we do have Journeyman's Cooking from Hogger once again. We do have that you want Axe Zul'jin, Skull build Mephisto, and Unyielding Power on Mephisto. I was trying to remember it. And Lions more Variant. All while we do see that camps have already been started by LTK, and I do like them getting this one out now, especially considering objective is bottom. And I do like that Misfits haven't done theirs yet. And I'm saying that I'm not just saying that because I'm like, haha, they're not doing it yet. No. I do like that they're being a little bit more patient on it. I'm not sure if it's on purpose or not. Because if you get that those Siege Giants pushing during the objective phase, that's something a lot you have to deal with if you're LTK. But you can do it. You have double global. You can have the brain died. You can have the Dahaka come up, move things around, get it out of the way, and then you can have him burrow down to bottom, and then you can have Felstad fly top afterwards if you're wanting that swap them in the lane to see what they can do. And also, just already mentioned that Wygon, Skills, and Anduin alone have done a lot of damage to this front gate. But Bruiser Camp is going to be coming out shortly. Last milk here, just capping it now. Hogger nearly having that down. There it is. And this Bruiser Camp being done just a little bit later for LTK. We hate OBJ. Not for LTK, for Misfits. Misfits are the one doing the camp here. Anduin coming down. Lone Wolf actually taking a decent amount of damage from Jadic. Not the easiest thing to go into if you're Varian. Sure, you have Taunt, but you don't really have the damage to fully get through. Felstad going a weird build, by the way. We do see Hammer Gains with that Q quest at 1. Which I think I remember seeing somewhere that is quite diminishing in terms of its returns. Bowser King doing what they can. They don't quite get it in time. A nice double root from Jody Immortal. Jody Immortal is not stacking root. They are just at spell power. So all that healing will be even better. Meanwhile, we do see Hogger and Dahaka still just out of the way, clearing what they can. But Jody Immortal steps up a lot more than Lone Wolf. But Jadic is probably a little bit too high for everyone's liking. That's physical armor doing a lot for Bowser King. But here is Hexblades now. Bowser King having to back out. Vicar doing their best to hold on. But Skills will ultimately be getting this objective, and there's not really too much that is done here. That can be done here, I should say. Misfits does have that better objective fight. They do have a better team fight, so when that is happening, they can get a lot done. What LTK need to do is kind of just push. In all honesty, push, see what you can do. There is now a camp pushing mid, speaking of which, so you need to deal with that before it gets too much value. But no, we're having another fight coming out. It does feel like LTK, we hate OBJ, is being brought into these close fights where they really don't need to be. You don't need to fight if you're LTK here. You have a comp that can out macro and very much doesn't need to fight to benefit. Like, yeah, sure, the last Melchior needs their stacks with their W. We see that Firestar needs their stacks on their Q. But you don't necessarily need to fight all the time just because Zul'jin. There's a lot of heroes that need stacks on the other side. Misfits need 1, 2, 3, 4 heroes stacking. That is a lot by any means. Vicar steps up a little bit too far, is in the danger triangle. The danger Dorito will be taking a lot of damage from the... Oh my gosh, nope, doesn't quite live. So he takes a lot of damage from Skills, may have been able to get out, but nope, that one last axe thrown by Wygon does spell death for him. And now we do see that it's a 2v4 bottom. We see objective is up here, and the healer is nowhere to be seen. Last Melchior having to back out. Lone Wolf getting the taunt off. Bowser King doing what they can. Does jump out. That's a nice double root. And that is going to be Last Melchior jumping out as well. Very low mana, very low health. But similarly for Bowser King, very low health as well. 130 health. And thank you for following Twill. Greatly appreciated. But we do see Hogger actually goes down top, taken out by some minions. But I guess that was Bo Diddley getting the tongue. And ultimately it going well. Jody Immortal is the one pushing in. Vicar, I don't think you can hit the W from there. Nope. Just falls a bit short. And that is a second objective picked up pretty easily from Misfits at this point. LTK is not quite doing how they were in the first map. They need to refine their stride. It looks like that Misfits has found the answer to what LTK is wanting to do. And I'm surprised that LTK didn't go back to that triple frontline composition that worked so well from the first map. Because yeah, Zul'jin stacks pretty well off of it, but you can still get a lot of value done. Also very interesting, we see Q at level 1 for Zul'jin, but we don't see the rest of the Q talents. Jody Immortal comes up to bother Bo Diddley, but it is very much because the top objective is going to be where it's at in terms of fight. Both teams will have 10, so it'll be very interesting to see how this goes. I do like that both teams are actually vibing by boss. Bowser King jumps out, was taking a decent amount of damage. I do like physical armor on them. But no, we can see now that team is rotating down. Felstar is in the firing line. J-Dick rolls. Lone Wolf, however, pushed Eon before too late. And that is a very early gust from J-Dick, but it doesn't matter because we do have at least a little bit of fight coming out here. Isolation coming out onto Jody Immortal will be fine. And we do see Hogger falling a little bit short with that E, and that is another camp just quite simply taken. Not camp, ejected quite simply taken. I do like the aggression coming up from Misfits here, just taking that building. You know, the team all went top. You saw them rotate. You saw them chasing after the Decade. But yeah, they're just going to take that. But all in answer, Bowser King, Last Melchior, and Vicar is taking their own boss, which is a pretty good situation for them. It especially with objective being bottom, it means that there's going to be a little bit more space to work. Bo Diddley does have Burrow to go down if need be. But I don't think they'll get there in time to stop bottom boss. It is taking a little bit to kill, that is true. And Felstar does have Gust back up. This is... Felstar, why'd you roll there? We do see now that we're in a dangerous position for Misfits. Misfits are going to struggle to step on this objective. We do see that Lornator was used early on. Paul and Jody Immortal, Gust coming out. Actually may have saved them from the boss stun. That is Anduin going down first, actually, but then we do see Varian soon to follow. Jody Immortal is next one of the firing line. J-Dick hitting a nice hammer onto him. Jody Immortal will go down. All the while, Boss is pushing top. May not quite get it, but that is a good fight there for LTK. We have OBJ. That is what you needed after that middle map, of Braxis, where it was a little bit of struggle for them. They do need this one to kind of go their direction. Right, and this will be this building slowly taken down. 13th now through for LTK. We hate OBJ after that fight. I've accidentally closed silence, just me to open back up, because I never actually mentioned what heroics we do have. Because we do have that blue bacon, as one of my friends would call it, the Dragon Strike Hanzo. We do have Isolation to Haka. I do love Isolation, it is true. We do also see the Light Bomb Anduin, Gust, Felstar, hopefully Wind Tunnel, and Avatar Mirrodin. On the other side, we do see the side of Misfits all running at Mirrodin, Bowser King stuck in middle things. Nice Light Bomb. We have two people stuck in the Dragon. That is 2 kills. Mephisto's Ghost went straight back to the middle, and Varian was just stuck there for a little bit too long as well. So now we have a weird aggressive stance here from the team. Letting Ryogon actually stack a little bit, not quite the best idea, but you are at least keeping him Bo Diddley got their Burrow cancelled. Brushstalk was not allowed to go off. Felstar is flying top. They don't really need to come mid, as we do know we have a team for Misfits were. They're in a very defensive position. I believe that there's good communication going on there by LTK. We have OBJ to communicate that. But otherwise, in terms of heroics, I'm just going to mention now, we do have very similar things as last time. I don't know if Lornator was potentially a great pick. Sleep could have done very well here. Sleep could have done excellent here, but I guess we'll never know, as it is a Lornator game at the end of the day. right? We do see skills in just trying to force out the side of LTK with OBJ. That Mephisto can do a lot. Meanwhile, Dahaka is bottom with Lone Wolf and Jody Immortal. And skills is doing what damage they can to the enemy team. I will also mention that Felstad is alone here just pushing. What is happening here? We do see a little bit of fight going out. Varian wasn't able to quite actually use Taunt. The team did back out in time. A lot of rubies in the bush, but not really much happening. And Felstad forced to back out. Didn't know where the team was going. Didn't know where the opposition was going. Need to make sure you play safe and don't die, because that is ultimately the worst thing that can happen at this juncture of the game. We're getting to the point where deaths are worth quite a bit, as well as the death timers are getting up there. And we do see with that lead that LTK We Hate OBJ has, but I really don't need to risk it at this point. I do like that they're all set up in one little bush here, but no, we see that Bowser King potentially is showing off that. I'm just going to click this just to show what is happening. Never mind, if it doesn't work anymore. Is it V for vision? Yeah, there's the vision we have. It is just LTK We Hate OBJ just hiding currently, but we can see they're making their way back to their own camps. Which I do like that play, just to play out a vision. They're doing the vision game very well, in fact. They may have briefly shown in that mid area, but I don't think they did. Last Melkia, did you go W4? Yeah, we have a full camp clear build from Hanzo, so they can get through bosses pretty effectively. It's a nice double camp take. The opposition team of Misfits do have a general idea where LTK is now. They know they could play a little bit more aggressive into the wave. We do see Jadic a little bit alone in the middle. I forgot to start predictions again, didn't I? It happens. But yeah, we do have the teams pushing in. Now. Nice Q there by Melkia. And we do have a team now coming to distract mid. That is going to be a good Dorito. We do see that it is Dahaka hit by it. Does Burrow dodges the net from Wygon, but because of how that works, it won't be back in too long. All while we do have a camp pushing mid, so they do send some people to deal with that, and that gives the opening for LTK We Hate OBJ to push in. We do see Tongue coming out onto Jody Immortal. Jody Immortal, however, wasn't quite hit by the Dragon Strike, but they will get taken out by the Scatter. Or while we do have Mephisto using that consume souls from safety back there, but it doesn't really matter. It does a decent chunk of damage, sure, but everyone's pretty healthy. It's not going to quite find anyone lost. Vicar getting a pull off there, but I imagine if I look, we're going to see double pull, yep, from Anduin. Bosses are back up. Can you rip that quick? I don't know. They're calling for it. They do want it. We'll have to see how quick this is ripped, because I don't imagine that Misfits want to step in while the healer's down. So Misfits very much need these... Misfits need to be at these objective fights. Misfits are thriving in these objective situations currently. So if they were able to get back there, they may be in a very good spot, but I guess we'd have to wait and see if they can indeed do that. Last Melkia getting the channel. I should really put a command in. That's like exclamation mark delay. Just to go, by the way, I do have 30-second delay on. I'm just now thinking about that. But we do have camp being done just above where boss is happening all the while. It looks like Felstad is going to start their own boss top. Nope, they're just clearing, never mind. And this fort will go down. Keep will go down in a few moments, which it's a boss. It's not the easiest to deal with. Camp meanwhile pushing mid. Bowser King wants to see what they can get with it. But no, boss went down at a very good time. Oh, maybe not the best time for Misfits, as bottom did go down. But boss did go down at the end before the side of LTK could really get anything going mid. They did get the camp, but just rotation was too slow. Meanwhile, we can see them doing top boss. I don't know if that is necessarily a correct call, but it appears to be so as well. They did see the side of Misfits going through the circle, so they know that it's actually a lot top, and now we do see Flight and Burrow being used bottom there, and that leaves a little bit of an awkward split for LTK, but really it's a very safe play from Misfits. They're not wanting to necessarily risk anything currently. And it wasn't a super important objective to be at, because it was only 2 out of 3 for LTK. But Misfits are now in that position where they're having to have a good think about things, and we're in a position for LTK to potentially take the game. We do see Wind Tunnel picked up, Rewind mirrored in that the Dragon hungers. Awakens from Hanzo. Contagion, Dahaka, and oh my gosh, Varian's Legacy Anduin. Woo! Not often you see Varian's Legacy. It's considered a meme talent a little bit sometimes. Also, what's happening down here? Did we hear guys? No, I just misheard things. That was barrel roll that was used from the Falstad. We're in a position now where we may see LTK, well, very much wants objective, but is Misfits going to step up? Otherwise, we've got what's going to be a lot of pressure coming in a few moments. There's a 20 advantage from LTK. They do now have Curse. So Nudao? Did I really say Nudao? I'm just like getting my first letters of all my words messed up today. Not the brightest thing I've done. Nudao. A nude owl? I guess all elves are nude, I suppose. But anyway, we do see a fight is coming out. Nice leap by Muradin with that long leap. We do see skills pushing back situation. Nice wind tunnel, however, the dragon just a little bit off, but that's 2 kills either way. That is the healer and one of the damage down, but that is the bird taken out of the process. But we do see already a reset of dragons. Well, I guess it's snakes in that skin, but that looks like it's going to be an end call for the side of LTK. We hate OBJ as the court is quickly falling. That will be the game and the series going over to LTK. We hate OBJ. GG's called by Bowser King, but not many others. Interesting. Right, let me update everything before I forget. As it did hold true, whoever chose map pick ended up winning that map. So having a look at stats very quickly, we do have Hogger and Falstad doing very similar soak, but we did have Dahaka picking up side soak as well. So both Falstad and Dahaka acting as those offlaners. Thank you to Globals. On the other hand, we do have damage done. Hanzo doing an excellent amount. Mephisto still doing a decent amount, but without those team fights going off as often, it was a little bit harder for Misfits to really do anything there. They were, as I said, what LTK needed to do that game. They needed to macro more. They needed to get that side so it can just build an advantage that way. And once they started doing that post 7, they're a little bit A-Rammy. Until then, they were able to pull a lead, and there wasn't as much value found from the Mephisto or Zul'jin. It took them a little bit too long to kind of really scale. Looking at talents real quick. It's interesting to see Bone Slicer picked up, especially without the other Q talents, because those Q talents are what makes Bone Slicer at 1 so potent, and it makes it Mephisto can tear through things quite easily. So yeah, that is a good series that was a good game to wrap it up. I'm gonna give a at LTK. That's not right. LTK, unless you snuck in here and I can't see them. Nope. We have OBJ. We want an interview? Question mark. Captain interview. I should really state captain interview because there was one time where I just was flooded by a whole team and barely got a word in. Nah, just say interview. Get a message. But send. I'm really bad at typing today, aren't I? There we go, interview. Right, that was it for series. GG's to both sides. I'll sit around this lobby for a little bit and see if anyone does show up. So I'll change it over to our game summary. No, not map view screen. Hey, Bowser King. How are you guys feeling after that series?
Oh, great. I mean, it always feels good to start off with a win, right?
Excellent. Yeah, it very much is a good thing to start off with.
Yeah, and we know, we played Misfits before. We know they're a good team, so it's always, nice to see that we can beat a team who we know is good and it poses a real threat to us. So.
Sorry, I just saw a question immediately to right saying, ask Bowser King what part of New Jersey he's from.
Oh, God.
I think you could hazard a guess as to who asked that.
I have an idea. I'm not from New Jersey, but everyone likes to make fun of me and say that I'm from New Jersey due to a misunderstanding that happened one time that I'll never live down. So.
No, I know those understandings entirely. It took a while to make people realize that I'm not actually from Australia, that I'm from New Zealand. That was a fun one to try and convince people that I'm not actually from a big desert in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
I'll bet.
And Jadek, how are you feeling about that series now that you've joined us?
I felt pretty good. It definitely was nice to play them. We definitely knew that they had the capability to beat us, so we wanted to make sure we went in with our best game.
Yeah, and best team you did. So let's go back to map number 1. That triple frontline comp, wasn't expected to go quite that well because there's really not too much percent damage or anything like that. They just had a couple of mages. So that went pretty well for you, do you think?
Yeah, I really wasn't sure. We haven't run that too much versus like 2 mages. We haven't run into like double mage heavy comps that much, so that was definitely interesting. I wasn't really prepared for that. And when we looked at their draft versus ours, we thought we would be fine. So and it ended up working out. So I was caught off guard a little bit and wasn't too sure what they were trying to go for there, but we just stuck to what we know and ended up working out. So
yeah, we like the double bruiser, and they banned away our Gazlo several times, but it was actually kind of a last minute thing, me switching on a Malthael. It wasn't like necessarily planned going in.
I don't suppose I can get what you were thinking about before then? Or is that a secret that you're going to save for next time?
I think Secret's better.
Excellent. So there was a moment that I saw Chromie literally go on to 1 health. Was there any kind of, oh god, moments at that point?
Yes, he was screaming that he was literally 1 HP.
There were lots of god moments. I think there was one time I was 1 HP in that last game too, where I leapt away as like a Zul'jin Q was coming at me with, I don't know, 5 health or something.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen the number 1 come up before, though, and Chromie did hit actually 1.
Oh, it actually was 1?
Yes.
Oh, that's incredible. I didn't know that.
He definitely said that. He said, I'm literally 1, and he's the first time that somebody meant literally.
Well, I heard him say that, but I never take that as literal.
Yeah, no, neither do I in those situations. But ultimately, there was a little bit of comeback on that map from the team coming into from the opposition team of Misfits coming to late game. Was it getting concerning at that point? Or were you like, no, we've still got this, we just need to stick to our plan?
Are you talking about in the first game?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I don't think we really were too worried the first game. We were up like 20-16, and then they came up 20-20. There was a little, voice in the back of my head that's saying, don't throw this game. Like, I don't know how many times it happens when to any of us, we're playing Storm League or competitive or anything where you're up by a bunch and then suddenly, you have a couple staggered deaths and you end up losing, right? So obviously it was a little bit in the back of my mind, but it wasn't like, affecting our play or anything. We just said, hey, we got to tighten up. This is what we got to do. And we went for it.
Yeah. And now map number 2, however, that was a little more difficult to say the least. How did you guys feel about that one running into a very effective blow-up, especially when you're on something as squishy as an Uberak?
Yeah, I mean, that one, that was a tough game. I felt like we were winning most of that game too. I mean, they did start out, I think they got the first Zerg wave and just like crushed right through bottom. So it was a little bit tough to recover. But I think we did recover, and we recovered pretty well, and then we were taking it to them. It was really when they like snuck that boss. We literally all were like, oh, I think they just ran to boss, and we were like, it was like 3 seconds later they capped it. I mean, I don't know how long they were actually on it, but it felt like they just got there. It felt like they just got there, and it like was capped immediately, and that was when we kind of all just started falling apart and did kind of what I said in the first game. We were like, we started staggering deaths there, and then we just couldn't pull it back together. But I mean, that was just well played by them.
Any comments via Jadic?
Yeah, same thing. We were like, there's no chance they boss here, right? And then we're like, let's check, and they capped the boss. So that right there, I think we never really recovered from that. From that moment on, it was just like sit in our base and put out fires. And they got a 100% Zerg wave after that. And I think they got the next Zerg wave 100% after that. They took all of our camps. It just kind of snowballed from that moment.
The whole map was red.
To give you guys the benefit, I think they did end up doing boss in about 7 seconds.
Yeah.
It was actually torn apart. And the last map...
really fast.
Yeah, the last map, Cursed Hollow. They showed essentially the same comp. Was the Anduin a deterrent for them just like, we have one of the heroes you used, or was it very much you always wanted to Anduin there?
It was kind of both. I mean, Anduin's just somebody we have in our arsenal that's prioritized. It's just a good healer. I mean, there's like 4 like really good healers in the game that everyone tries to go after all the time. It seems. So he's just a really solid pick, and we knew that they played him last time and they did well, and he kind of synergized a little bit better. I was actually going to go a new rack again, which is why it just synergized a little bit better with like diving in and being able to recover or bomb me or whatever. But they went with the Zul'jin again, and I was like, well, Muradin's a little bit better into that, and I can still leap on him and do stuff. So it still worked out with the Anduin pick there. And then it was a thought that okay, this does deny them a pick too. So
Joe did so good with the Anduin on Braxis, like saving 6 or 7 people with 1 HP, like pulling them out of the team at the very last moment. Like
I could feel his pulls for sure. It was so many saves. I was like, I even commented in the middle of the game, I think, on our team. I was like, man, this Anduin saving everybody.
Yeah. And the double global, is that something you typically go to on Cursed? Or is it something you're like, we could?
It's something I prioritize in Storm League for sure. I really like globals and split push on that map a lot.
Yeah.
Speak of split push.
Yeah, I think we just really wanted to have. We know what we're comfortable with on that map. And the Dahaka was more the like global split push idea, and then Balstead, obviously that was something that we thought the same thing. Like he can do the same thing, but he's just generally good utility on that map, and that's just what we went with. Yeah.
Speaking of split push, I thought you guys were going to split push a bit more early on, but it ended up being a little bit more fighty than you guys may have been expecting. What was the point when we went, we're fighting too much? Can we go back to the general plan?
Well, we wanted to fight and brawl a little bit early because both Hanzo and Falstad were stacking. So we wanted to intentionally fight a little bit and not split push as much early, just to get them stacked up and just kind of take the camps and hope that that applies the lane pressure. I think like the beginning, it was like the first tribute or something. We wanted Dahaka to just like clear the camp top and then burrow down, but I don't know what happened. I didn't hear. He said they were like in a weird spot or something, so he didn't end up clearing them fast enough, and then we had to just give the first tribute. And we were like almost ready to give the second tribute too. I mean, we weren't gonna give it, but like we weren't in position or ready for it, and we were like, we can't just like give them free tributes. And I think it was right after that point, after the second tribute, where we were like, all right, we need to start maximizing our lane pressure to get them to kind of spread out and be late to things, and that kind of idea.
Speaking about things being taken well, you did manage to get a double boss, actually just after 10s. Was that the point where you went, okay, we've got this, or what was your headspace moving after that? Because obviously you're in a good spot after that. Were you going, let's not mess this up, or what was the headspace at the time?
Well, we were actually trying to think. I can't remember what happened with the first boss, but I know there was a time
they pushed the fort instead of taking the boss and kind of confused us. I think that was that time.
Was that, or was that the?
It might have been the second one.
Second one, because I think the first one, I think we just were 10s, and I mean we just really like to like if we're up, and especially if we've got ults on them, we really like to just use our advantage and just press forward and make them deal with it, get in their face. So we figured we would just check the boss, see if they were on it. They weren't. And I think we were thinking about doing our boss, but we were all bought already, and we were like, well, let's just do theirs. And then obviously they had to deal with that, and I don't remember if there was a tribute spawning or not, but it's pretty common practice if you if you can steal an enemy boss, then your options are usually either push with it or go get the other boss and just take them off the map, and then it's even better if it's spawning with the tribute, or especially if you're about to get a curse with it, but that's pretty hard to line up. But
right.
We felt good with Gus that we could probably take the fight even if they took it.
Yeah. If they somehow got some miracle and wiped 2 of us before we got a kill or something, even down ults, we felt the Falstad definitely helped us feel safe with boss takes for sure.
Yeah. And right, just in general, is there any kind of last things you want to say about series? Any thanks? Kind of the floor is yours.
I always just like to shout out my team. Obviously, I wouldn't be here and wouldn't be able to play and have fun. And I like to shout out everybody, our team and the enemy team. I know they were enemies, but it was a great match, and appreciate everyone's respectful and nice and has a good time. So, and then shout out to you for casting. I really appreciate the cast. Shout out to our coach Dutch, who's taught us everything we know. He'll probably be like, "Don't tell him that because you guys messed up all these things." But just kidding. And shout out to LTK, our organization, and Maximus who runs it. Go LTK.
Oh yeah.
Anything from you, Jadick?
Pretty much all the same. Definitely want to second the Dutch and the Max shout outs. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, and Dutch definitely is the reason we do a lot of the things we do. The things well, at least, not the things poorly. And I think it was a great match, and it was a lot of fun. So thanks to Misfits as well.
Right. In that case, I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening.
You too.
Thanks, you too.
Take care. Right. That is going to be it for me for now. Okay, Dutch, you're never here. Got it. That is going to be it for me for now. I am going to raid over Eternally Blue, just as they are also casting NGS, I believe. Yes, indeed they are. So I'm going to start that up. I will be back, however, in about half an hour from now, as I do have a second match going on today, second match I'll be casting today, which will be kind of bit stupid, facing off against CM... Oh, shoot, I can't remember their name. One of the Cloud & Minds teams that I can't remember the name of currently, but I'll get told later that I am incorrect. And I'll actually be joined by a co-caster of Peach, who is also from the Cloud & Minds org. So that will be fun to have her around. But for now, that is going to be me. I hope everyone has a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending where you are in the world, because time zones are weird. And I'll see you all in the Nexus. Goodbye for now. Well, at least for another half an hour or so.